the biggest mistake that a lot of people go into content is they want to make money straight away. You want to position the unique mechanism as like the most important thing that's going to make everything else in the business easier. Next, you actually want to provide value, which is not just copying regurgitated knowledge. This is actually looking into your sales process, looking at the problems that your ICP has, live data that you're tracking. Because you're thinking it's like top of funnel or middle funnel, right? A lot of people fail to understand that the difference between top of funnel and middle funnel is like, it's just intention. So the way in which you build your brand to avoid looking like a commodity is, what's going on, guys? I'm with my good friend, and client is
What's up?
And today we're going to help him build a personal brand. We both know that content takes a lot of time, right? And someone coming from an ads background, you kind of find it difficult justifying the idea of putting the amount of hours into content when there is no actual tangible results.
Yes.
Right? So the biggest mistake that a lot of people go into content is they want to make money straight away. So I'm going to ask you, what is the long-term vision and the short-term vision? The long-term vision for me is doing it for my kids. If my kids can see me traveling the world, doing cool stuff, making a ton of money, it's going to set the standard for them. The short-term goal is scaling a business. So for you, what would that be? Because if you have that, and if you have the reason, purpose behind it, you're not going to burn out.
Yeah.
You have a reason to post every single day. Like the same reason why you're running your business is not just to make money.
So short-term goal is to help scale my business, to help scale the done for you agency, to show my expertise. So if I was to outreach to someone, they can actually go through my content. If someone books in a call with me, they can go through my content, mess with me. I actually know that I'm knowledgeable. I'm not like everyone else in a sense, that I actually know what I'm doing. They can go through, see my case studies, but also see how I am as an actual person as well. The long-term goal would be to genuinely just build an actual massive brand where if I was to go sell sunglasses, people are going to buy it. If I was to go sell socks, whatever I'm doing, have like a core audience that respect me for who I am, because they get value, but they respect me as a business owner. They get a lot of knowledge from it, from how I behave, etc. And yeah, I guess like that's the more long-term goal. And then just to have like a crazy network as well.
A lot of people don't have short-term and long-term. Listen,
No, I didn't even think of that.
but like when you actually think about it, it makes so much sense.
Yes, I was like, whoa, like, how did I not think of that?
It's nice. So if you were truly trying to build your personal brand based off your short-term goal, which is what a lot of coaches make the mistake of doing because they just want to make money straight away, you're just as bad as a sleazy salesman, and you end up looking like everybody else. The reason why is because you're posting the same value. Everything is kind of regurgitated and there's no intention with the way that you're building your brand. Once you move into the done with you space, the coaching space, people buy into coaches, not coaching. There's so many people out there who are providing the exact same service as me, exact same service as you. Think about Suig, Jeremy Haynes, Jeremy Cole. Someone will choose to buy it to you because of your unique one-of-one personal brand. So the way in which you build your brand to avoid looking like a commodity is you build your brand around these 4 pillars. Why will someone love you internally, which is your personality, beliefs, values, and stories, your visual design, how you dress, your brand outliers, what makes you different, and your vehicle. I'm using Daniel Dalen as an example, but he has a very lavish lifestyle, would you say? We can use someone else. We can use someone like Alex Ramosi. We all know his story. We all know he slept in gyms. We all know his values and beliefs. We know how he dresses. He dresses the way he dresses every single day because he wants to live an optimized lifestyle that's systemized and that doesn't have decision fatigue. He never has to make a decision on what he wears. And whoever resonates with that will resonate. So same thing applies to you. And then Hormozy, he never skips dessert, or the fact that he goes to the gym is an outlier. Daniel Dalen is the fact that he speaks Chinese.
So when you say outlier, something that's like
something uniquely yours. For me, I play basketball. I posted a video where I was playing basketball and I called myself the best hooper in info. The amount of people in info that resonate with that is crazy. And then it's your vehicle. The one thing I don't want you doing is making a personal brand around your vehicle because it doesn't align with your long-term goal. If you ever want to sell glasses or socks or whatever, you're not necessarily going to be able to monetize that aspect, because if you ever do, your audience is going to be alienated because they all followed you for your vehicle, not necessarily you.
When it comes to brand outliers, how do you go about finding like your own brand outlier? Because for example, like your one is basketball, but then someone on the other side might have something similar, but they might look like, especially like I do boxing, I go gym, I work a lot. Is like, how are you able to identify your brand outlier?
It's just you, bro. One thing that a lot of people make the mistake of is they overthink the brand outliers. So even Charlie Morgan, right? His brand outlier is the fact that he's just locked in, and you can embody the same thing. But the thing that makes you different is also your personality, your beliefs and values, and the way that you dress. All these guys dress like basic white guys.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have like a nice lineup. You take care of yourself. These guys don't look like, no disrespect, they look like they spend all their time locked in the room doing work, which is respectable, but that's how you can be different.
And I'm glad.
Yeah. So I get people to build their brand based on these 4 pillars, and then I get them to identify the dream follower, which is how we build that following of people that actually mess with you as a person. And within that dream follower, we find our ICP, because we increase our total addressable market. But the one thing I don't want you to think of is these people are separate. They're not. They're the exact same person. One is just qualification levels and one is just personal characteristics. What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about just like business
Yeah.
in general. I'm passionate about sports, health, fitness. I'm passionate about religion. I'm passionate about impact, like charity, helping others.
So what if I made a piece of content where I'm using the money I made with my business and giving back to people in need? I made a piece of content on that, and you see that. Although it's not info related, you see something like that and you're like, holy shit, this guy's cool as fuck. And then you're gonna fuck with my brand, right?
Yeah.
So it stems down to this. The 3 fundamental things that you need to dial in to build a good personal brand. Positive associations. The example I just gave you, I built an association to giving back to charity with the money I made. So I've positioned myself as a business owner, not an info course seller. A business owner using my money for good. Right?
Okay.
The video of me playing basketball, so I can showcase me making a payment and having all the time in the world to play basketball with my friends or to play sports with my friends. So I built a business where I work 4 hours a day and make a ton of money. So I can live the life I want to live.
And then that brings people that also want to have like the same reality as well.
Yeah. So you build associations to that lifestyle. Even material possessiveness, right? I can, like, if you have a desired watch that you have in mind, I can buy that watch and be like, yo, I just bought this watch. But I can back it with my beliefs. Like, oh, the reason why I'm buying this watch isn't to flex. It's because I want to celebrate every financial milestone I have in my life. And then it's more meaningful than just flexing a watch. And you're like, damn, this guy's cool. This guy's like really good values and beliefs that associated. But you don't want to stop there. Next, you actually want to provide value, which is not just copying regurgitated knowledge. This is actually looking into your sales process, looking at the problems that your ICP has, live data that you're tracking, looking at your sales calls objections, looking at the limiting beliefs that these guys have, and looking at what position of business are they in. And then if they are within your ICP range, turn those into content ideas. Because now you're someone who's likable, they resonate with, and you're also someone that provides a unique solution to a unique problem they have. So you're not a generalist anymore, you're a specialist. That they
like let's say, for example, there's like a very common problem. A lot of coaches, for example, they struggle a lot. They don't know how to DM set, they don't know anything about setting. So when it comes to now me making, let's say, a video about setting, here's the setting process we use to book in like 20 meetings a day. In a sense, doesn't that sound like everyone else?
It's how you position it though. With that, it's like marketing a solution. What you can do is you can market a problem, or you can market like in a different way, in a creative way. You can be like, oh, how to make X amount without sync.
So then he's basically just like thinking of different angles.
Yeah, getting creative with angles.
Okay.
Like if you look at like the largest corporations, when they run ads in commoditized markets like Apple, Android, and stuff like that, Specsavers, commoditized service, the way they run their adverts are so different. I'm gonna show you.
That's very true.
These are corporations operating in billion-dollar industries, competing against billion-dollar companies. Every creative that they run is so unique and different, and the angles they take is so unique and different that it stands out. Realistically, Apple, they could have like made an ad breaking down all the features they have on their phone, but instead they just showed a compression machine, and then at the end of it, it's a phone. It's like how you position it differently.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
You can also position it around unique mechanism. Like let's say mine, okay, it's content. So I can be like, how to make X amount without needing to sell. And I can basically talk about how content is the biggest lever a business owner can fold. Because my sales calls last 15 to 30 minutes because of the content that I posted. They're already sold before they come onto the sales call. And it's just as quick as before I can pay.
What if, let's say, because I am, as an operator, I do everything A to Z. What if you specialize specifically in sell, in the content side of things? But if you was to like talk to me, yes, I'm not the most cracked out DM sell or whatever it is, but I've built out DM setting teams that I've booked in so many meetings. Like right now, I have my DM set here up and now, like we're booking in a good amount of meetings on the offer. But then it's also, I'm good at ads. but then I'm also good at building and managing a team and hirings and all of that kind of stuff. I'm good at the building out the back end infrastructure for the business. But as people, as you said, as specialists, what would you recommend like kind of like doubling down as my unique mechanism? Because some people, they just run, like I have a friend who just webinar funnels. With me, I've primarily just done VSL funnels. Could that be like a unique mechanism, or does it have to be something like DM setting or sales? Or
now you mentioned your unique mechanism and mentioned how your unique mechanism complements every other mechanism, how your unique mechanism makes every other thing better.
Okay, so then for example, let's say I talk about the VSL funnel. I talk about how if you run a VSL funnel and like the VSL is good, it does all the selling, blah blah blah, the back end emails, by the time you even hop into the call, they're already sold, etc. And then I positioned that as like for example, with Eddie, they need to fly with VSL. We did a 995 checkout, and then we had like 10 people try and purchase in the same day, like for 1,000. So even kind of showing that kind of social proof of that if you have a good VSL, like a good funnel, you don't have to do any, like all the settings already done before they even on the call.
Literally, like you want to position the unique mechanism as like the most important thing that's going to make everything else in the business easier. Like with content, I make it the most important thing that's going to make your sales easier. It's going to make your setting easier. It's going to make your talent acquisition easier. It's going to make your fulfillment easier because you're attracting people that you actually enjoy working with. So you have to install that belief in your audience.
Okay. So then, like, let's say, because I also do ads as well. It's also, instead of talking about ads, like, the ads, blah, 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 it's like, if you have a good VSL, your cost per call from the ads drastically does. Etc. Like, and that kind of,
even like when I talk about ads, I always say like, you need content to have good running ads. You know?
Okay.
You can have more than one unique mechanism though.
What do you mean?
Like you can have content and setting.
Ads and VSL. That's source, that's game.
So now that you're liked, you just need to make sure you provide value. And you do this by collecting data from your sales teams. Pre-call, post-call, sales calls, all objections, all the missing beliefs, all problems, create content that uniquely solves it. But make sure it's angled around a unique mechanism. So once you have that, now your audience likes you, they resonate with you, so you're one of one now. But also, you're providing an insane amount of value to them. So after that, what can you do to push these guys over the edge? Because once you have those two dialed in, okay, you should be sat around 20 to 50K a month. But how you scale to 6 figures and over, you need to market the desired outcome, which is, for me, it's virality, it's building a long-term personal brand, and it's making money from the content. With you, I don't know, it's more rev from the funnels that they're implementing in the concept to your web in your mechanism.
Like showing the coaches, like the stats, the crazy stats, we're getting the 91% show up rates, the 78% closing rates and stuff, and they're gonna be like, how the hell is this guy doing it? And they link it back to the unique mechanism.
And then with that, it's like, okay, now they like you, they see you as someone who's solving their problems, and now you're credible because you've done it for multiple people. That's the foundation of building your personal brand. After that, it's actually learning the skill sets of content. So you need to learn how to speak to your unique follower, like the types of format that you're testing. And the truth is, you shouldn't stick to one format. You should test every single format that you have available. That way, like with one idea, you can test that one idea with multiple formats and you can get the most out of that idea. Because no idea is a bad idea. It's just how you execute it. And how you execute it will determine the results that you get.
Okay, now let's say I'm providing value, etc. How would you recommend when it comes to the value content and then when it comes to the actual content where I'm talking about like myself, my beliefs, like etc. What's the balance between that?
A lot of people like fail to understand that, like, because you're thinking it's like top of funnel or middle funnel, right? A lot of people fail to understand that the difference between top of funnel and middle funnel is like, it's just intention. So once you understand that type of content is purely just intention, like nurturing, building resonance, likability, credibility, insight, and solution about education, you can understand that one video will have multiple intentions behind it. So I can post a case study breakdown, but I can have a personalized aspect to it where I'm talking about my story in that process. Like, oh yeah, I nearly got fired until I implemented this, and then I made the problem work.
And when it comes to like value content, would you recommend, let's say now I'm breaking out like my unique mechanism, because I see like even you have like the my reward breakdowns. Would you recommend always like kind of like running, like kind of diving deeper into the unique mechanism on YouTube? Or would you recommend like even just running it on IG as well? But the only thing about IG is it's a lot shorter. So how can I still portray that same value to them without taking up 10-15 minutes?
There's a thing called insight versus value. Insight is telling people what you did, which builds curiosity around what you're selling and around the implementation and stuff like that. So they'll be more eager to find out more. Value is how you did it. So giving the exact step by step. If you're just giving insight, you're attracting a more qualified audience that's actually interested. So in Instagram, you give insight. So the difference is like, oh, this is how I scaled a personal brand to $225,000 a month. First, we found out this, then we found out this, then we implemented this. That's the insight. But for value, it's like, oh, this is how we did it, this is what we did, and this is exactly how we did it. And then we implemented this, and this is how you can implement it for yourself as well.
Okay.
So now we're just telling them, like, we're not actually like giving them actionable implementation.
So when you say value on YouTube and then insights on IG.
Yeah, even though you give like the exact how-to, people want to buy the implementation.
But that's okay. And when it comes to actually it's like recording content now, right? How do you stay ahead of like the curve? You know, how do you always like you basically never fall behind? How you guys always staying ahead when it comes to content, knowing okay, cool, this is what works and being ahead of everyone. Like how do you guys do that?
It's all about consuming with a purpose. Like a lot of people just like swipe on Instagram and like they're just consuming from pure entertainment. And no one actually thinks, oh, how can I actually implement this for myself? So if you look at Mr. Beast's videos, it's like $1 like taco versus $1 million taco. Someone will look at that and be like, oh, entertainment. But if you're actually like obsessed with content, you'll be like, oh, how can I make this a content idea? Okay, $5,000 on ads versus $5,000 on organic, right?
$1 PSL funnel versus like
yeah. So it's like it's how can you implement your ideas and being that obsessed that you can see your ideas in every single video that you see. And then it's just testing after that. I
actually really appreciate that. So with it, like you said, just talk about my story, talk about like what I personally like find passionate about, like also just talk to my dream ICP to give them value, etc.
Yeah, make sure that you always relate it back to, because you can't be unintentional. Like you can't say, oh, I like music, or my dream follower likes music, and then post a video you playing a guitar. Like you always have to lead it back to like the vehicle, not necessarily the vehicle, but who you are. Like okay, you're heavily entrepreneurial. So how can you link it back to being entrepreneurial? Like even then, like giving back to family. If it was like without that, me saying, oh, I just made X amount with my business, now I'm giving it back to charity. It's related back to like who the vehicle, the business, right? But if I just posted, oh, I'm giving back to charity, you wouldn't resonate with it, right? So it's just those small twists. So to summarize it, build positive associations, because what you're associated to determines how someone treats your brand, whether they like you or dislike you. Provide value, actual value that solves a unique problem. So now that you're likable and you're someone seen as an authority figure because you're providing some form of value, and then market the desired outcome that these guys want.
Okay, last question. My dream follower, right? Of course, I would love it to be like coaches and stuff. If I'm thinking more long term, it's like the younger version of me. The person, it's like Iman's audience. All of us grew up watching Iman, etc. because we wanted to go make more money, and that's like my dream follower. And now if all my contents are talking to like that dream follower, for example, how does it end up relating to like my actual like ICP that I want?
Now, but if you think about it, the younger version of you is entrepreneurial, had a passion for business. Everyone who's a coach has a passion for business, or they wouldn't be a coach. So you kind of have to think of it in that sense as well.
So like I basically make that content, and then they also watch it, they like it, they resonate with it. Like, yo, I also went through that as well, or whatever it is. Like, I respect it. And then they build associations with my brand, and then they eventually like consume more, and they know that okay, this guy's actually good at what he does through the other value content that I make.
It's like you have to remind yourself that there has to be some form of correlation between the personal characteristics and the qualification levels, because they're the same people. Like the way you were thinking about it right now, you're trying to grasp like it's two different people, but it's not. They're the same. Like a coach is also a business owner, but a coach also has values, beliefs, and stuff like that.
Appreciate it, bro.
That one. I go. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Peace.